So it's Monday morning, and I'm trying to finish up editing the vlog from last week. It's going pretty well. I'm debating like adding more edity stuff to it, because for the most part when I edit my vlogs I just kind of stick the clips together and then you know, maybe add some transitions here and there, some music if I have a time lapse, but other than that I don't really do too much editing for my vlogs. So I'm trying to see what I can do to maybe make them a little bit nicer and more appealing to watch. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do for that, but It's 12:24 right now. I got back from math a little while ago. Today I had a quiz, so that was fun. Hopefully I did well on it. I think I did, but you never really know. And I'm just working on some Inktober stuff. You've seen a couple of these, but not all of them. I'm playing catch up a little bit because over the weekend, and I didn't get to mention this in the vlog because I was kind of just trying to wrap it up so I could get it edited, so I'll include it in this vlog. But, hold on, let me clean up my desk a little bit. This is where my art shit goes, in this little drawer right here on my desk. Get under there! Oh, shit. Okay. So over the weekend, I went home, and that was something that I mentioned in one of the clips, but didn't mention it in the actual vlog because shit got corrupted. But over the weekend, it was kind of a bit of a lazy weekend. I did a little bit of homework, but not very much. But what I did do a lot of was painting. I did a lot of gouache pieces because I haven't really done much work with gouache. Are these just... Yeah, these are just cutouts for later. So I haven't really worked with gouache very much. I do have some student quality gouache paints. I made a palette video of it, but that's my palette. And I've done... Uh-oh, this fell off. I'll have to attach that again. I've done a couple of gouache pieces before. Nothing extremely complicated or extensive, but I did it a little bit before, and I don't know what it was, but hold on, let me put this down real quick. For some reason, like, the quality of the paints just, like, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be when I had it in the pans. And this could be because, like I said, these are student quality paints, so they're going to be less pigmented and they're gonna just not be as high quality as artist grade paints. But I was still a little surprised with how translucent they were. If anything, they were more like watercolors. But I do really enjoy using gouache. It is a lot like watercolor and I do like using it. But over the weekend I decided to try using the paint straight out of the tube, and that seemed to be a little bit better because, where the fuck is it? Aha! Here is a piece that I did using this palette right here. So the dried up gouache paints, and these are the ones that I did using the gouache from the tube. So, you know, you can kind of see a bit of a difference. But I think that also has to do a bit with the technique that I use with the gouache. So for example, all of these paintings right here, they have multiple coats to them. So I used multiple coats of gouache, whereas with these ones, this was more of like a single coat kind of deal. And so it's more opaque than watercolor, definitely, especially this one, but it wasn't as opaque as I thought it was going to be. So it was a little surprising, but I really do enjoy using gouache. It is rather similar to watercolors, but I don't know, there's just something about gouache that's like, it's eerily similar to watercolor, but at the same time it works in like a completely different way. So like, for example, you know, I can do layers with gouache, whereas with watercolor you can't really do as many layers, you know, without, and because I have a tendency to like really abuse the paper that I'm working with, you know, I just pile on the paint, you know, one coat after the other, and you can do that with watercolor, but watercolor, it's just so much easier to reactivate the paint layer that's underneath the one that you're working with, that, you know, sometimes if you overwork it too much, you can just end up muddying your colors, and that is not something that you want. So with gouache, I have a bit more wiggle room to work with in terms of applying layers. So for this piece example, I put down a color of purple, and that purple was kind of a little bit too dark, so I decided to add like kind of a lighter purple on top, and then I went in with some white on top of that. So that's like 3 layers of gouache right there. And the interesting thing about gouache is that you kind of work backwards with watercolor. So for example, with watercolor, you work from light to dark. So you start with the white of the paper, and then you add your first coat, and then your second coat, and then you build up the areas that you want to be dark. Whereas with gouache, I feel like, you know, that's where the element of acrylic comes in, because people have been saying that gouache is like a mix between watercolor and acrylic. You can you can work from dark to light, so you can start with like a super dark color, and then you can add highlights and like the lighter stuff later on if you want to, because it dries with a very matte finish. And so long as you don't overwork it, it's very easy to just work on top of the layers while still being able to mix it in. So that's something I like about gouache. And another thing that I really enjoy about doing these kinds of pieces is that I really enjoy doing the line art after I've finished painting. So that was something that I never used to do. I used to always do my line art beforehand, and then I would go in and paint. So for example, where did it go? The Witch's Study. This is a piece that I did on the channel a couple months ago, I think. And I did the line art first, and then I went in and I did the painting. So, you know, that's, like, I did enjoy making this piece, and I do really like this piece, but I just, like with the wood grain, for example, so like in this area right here, the color, like the line art isn't as crisp as I would have liked it to be. And, you know, some, like, in areas like this, it's kind of, I wanted it to be really dark, but when I either wasn't waiting for it to dry long enough, I was being too impatient, which I don't think was the case, because I would wait like 10 or 15 minutes for each layer to dry, and then I would try and go in and add more dark color, and it would just pull up the color that I put down before, and I just couldn't get it right. So, you know, I do enjoy this piece. I think it's like a really good starting piece, and I think it's good for, you know, what it is, because I'm not really that experienced of a painter. I'm okay at painting, and I do like painting, but it's, you know, it's not my strong suit. So I think by working with gouache and also with watercolor more, you know, start doing more pieces like this or like these, that I'll be able to really improve my painting skills. And this one I was kind of skeptical about when I first made it. At first, when I was painting it, I absolutely hated it. I thought it looked so dumb and so weird, but honestly, I kept working with it, and now I really, really like it. I think it looks really cool. I tried to work with kind of the idea of complementary colors. So in this area, you kind of have like a more green-based floor. So I had the little red corals. I think those are corals, like sticking out. And then this one is more like of like a blue area. So I have the little yellow flower things there. And then in the back, because I was working off of a reference picture, and it had like these 3 little areas, and I kind of wanted the focus to be more on the front 2, because that was where the elements of complementary color would be. So I wanted the focus to be in the foreground, but I had this as like just a solid blue color, and it just blended in with the background too much, and I didn't really like it. So I decided to add like these like I guess you could call them like algae. So like this little patch of algae in the back, because I saw another reference picture, and like, you know, that does happen in the wild. There are just random things of algae just kind of hanging out with nothing else really in them. So I thought that that was cool, and that added a really cool element to the piece. And I actually worked on the background last. It was originally just like a flat shade of blue, but then I went back in and added like you know, darker blues, and then like greens, lighter greens, and little dashes of like white here and there. So yeah, I actually really do like this piece, and all of these illustrations that I've worked on over the weekend are going to be going on my Store Envy at some point, as soon as I can get them scanned into my shitty ass printer. Yeah, I also like this one. This one was really cool. It's just like a cute little thing. Probably won't be any more than like $5 on my shop, but I think this is really cool. So, yeah, that's about all I've got for right now. I just wanted to share that with you. The vlog will be going up a little bit later, and I will update you guys if anything interesting happens later. you're doing. Hi, hello, it's Friday morning. I've been super busy the past couple of days, so I haven't vlogged, like, at all. And, my roommate's been kind of hanging around the room a lot this week, so, I don't really like vlogging when she's here, so, I haven't gotten the chance to vlog, but, you really haven't missed too much. I've been doing a lot of studying, a lot of sketching. I'm actually editing Thursday's video right now because my roommate basically just didn't leave the room Wednesday or Thursday, which are usually the days where I edit and post a video for the week. But the weird thing about this week is that on Tuesday I posted a Inktober sketchbook tour. I had intended to post it on Wednesday, but then I kind of got trigger happy and jumped the gun and I posted it Tuesday night. So I posted it early, and so I'm kind of using that as a bit of a compensation. You know, again with the hair. Okay, so I've successfully made it to my doctor's appointment somehow. My mother kind of made the last minute decision that instead of picking me up just before the appointment and taking me, that she was gonna come and get me early and then I would drive there, so I'm sitting in the car by myself. I just got to my doctor's appointment. I honestly didn't think I was gonna be able to make it on time because of all of the fucking traffic that's going on, you know? It's winter in Arizona is when all the snowbirds from back east, they come and they flock here so that they don't have to deal with the cold conditions of their home states. So, there's a shit ton of traffic, shit ton of old people on the road. That's super annoying because they drive really slow. And I like to drive fast, so yeah. So I'm gonna head in, and we'll see what happens later on in the day. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I come out with new videos every single week. And as always, I will see you all next time. Bye!